Greetings, salutations. My name is Colin Moriarty. As promised earlier today on Colin and Greg Live, I'm going to stream Super Stardust Ultra on PlayStation 4 for you today. It came out today. I think it's $12.99. It's by Housemarque. They do all the Stardust games. They did Resogun. They're one of the great developers in the industry. Super excited about this. Played it at PSX. I think it's going to be a great game. We're going to jump in together because I have not played it since then, and I'm going to start right off my cross-media bar in just a moment, but I thank you for joining me. I'm very tired. It's been a very long day. We did Colin and Greg Live. Greetings. Oh, God, my volume's up. We did Colin and Greg Live, had some kind of clerical things to do, had Gary Whitta on the podcast, of course, the writer of the Star Wars standalone movie that comes out in 2016, which we recorded with him. It was awesome, but it's just been a really long day. So I don't know how long I'm going to stay with you. Maybe for like a half an hour at least, maybe longer. When my girlfriend gets home and we start cooking, I'm probably going to skedaddle, but for now, let's enjoy the game. I'm just going to tweet out real quick that I'm doing it. Okay, that's good. All right. So I'll switch over to the game, and we'll rock and roll. Start it up. Oop, there we go. All right, perfect. So I hope everyone's doing well today. I'm not going to have Greg as my co-pilot with me today because he's doing his own thing. So I'm going to try to be as engaged as possible in the comments, but I don't know how engaged I'm going to actually be able to be. But I'm going to do my goddamn best, as I always do. Let's see here.
Comments say you're good.
Okay, great.
If I'm monitoring if anything changes.
Okay, thanks. All right, so we're jumping in. Rayron32 says I should be playing Apotheon. I did. I played it last week on the stream. I feel like I'm going to move on to a new game now. Let's jump in. Oh, God, the Stardust voice is coming through the speaker. I love it. All right. Let's start in single player, arcade mode, normal. Logi. Boost is L2, previous weapon, next weapon, bomb, boost. Shoot. All right, I think I got it. It's been a while. Okay. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Super Stardust. If you're not, Super Stardust is a series. This is the third in kind of the revived Super Stardust series. Super Stardust itself is actually a very old series. I think it was on Amiga, actually, to begin with. This is the third game from Housemarque, and I'm not even sure that they really worked intimately on this one. But they came out with Super Stardust HD on PS3 in, I think, 2007, and then Delta was a Vita launch game back in, let's say, 2011. So that was, when Vita came out. So this is the third one. It's the same kind of game. It's a twin-stick shooter, which is Housemarque's kind of specialty, as you guys know. The idea is basically, it's pretty simple if you're not familiar. You're on a globe like this, and you're trying to survive. The rocks coming down, you want to destroy as much as possible because you're trying to build up a multiplier and get your score higher. But you don't really need to destroy all the rocks because there are enemies and kind of goals that you have to destroy as well. The green blocks hold points and upgrades. You have different weapons. So I'm using the gold cutter right now, which is good against these gold kind of meteors. But later on, I'll have to switch weapons. And you're upgrading them as you go. You can boost with L2, and you can use bombs, which I will not do right now, with R2. And Sony owns this franchise, I think, and XDev worked on it now. So this is a PlayStation exclusive, in case you are curious. So my multiplier just went up, so now I'm going to get higher points for everything, by 2, and then so on and so forth. You want to try to get as high as possible. It's hard. The game's very hard, though. I'm going to turn off these speaker sounds if I can. Audio options, control. Is it audio options? Controller. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Let's see what you guys are saying real quick here. All right, we're good. I just want to make sure the stream was good. Sorry, this is a game I kind of got to pay close attention to, so I do apologize if I'm not being too engaged in the comments. But we'll jump into the comments in a little while, or I will, since I'm by myself. So as you can see here now, the wave is about to end, and these enemies show up, and you have to destroy them. Obviously, the waves get harder, or at least the goal is to end the waves get harder. There's actually a trophy in the game. This has a platinum trophy, in case you're curious. First Stardust game to ever have a platinum trophy. And one of them is to beat an entire wave without moving at all, which is kind of interesting. So we're cruising. So this ship here, you want to try to get these barrels out of it if you can, because in the barrels are upgrades, usually bombs, other valuable things that you're going to want. So these rocks here show up and they have little, it's so funny, Stardust is just such a system. These show up and they come down in order. If you can kill them in order in a quick enough time, you basically will get some extra points. It'll basically hemorrhage items, if I remember correctly. So let's see if we can do it. And now I'm at a 3 times multiplier, so I'm in pretty good shape right now. Where did I... Yeah, I might have messed it up. Damn it. Yeah, I messed it up, so I didn't get the sequence, unfortunately, so I'm not going to get that kind of hemorrhaging of points. I'm not really sure what I missed. I think to get the next one to appear, you have to destroy a majority of the rock that is spawned, or at least the green innard of it, and I probably didn't do that. So again, I do apologize for being kind of quiet and not being able to really. It's a Twitch shooter. I can't really look at the comments. But in between each wave, I'll jump in and talk to you guys. I do appreciate your patience, and I hope you're enjoying the gameplay in the meantime. All right, so there's more enemies now that show up. These worm guys now will be here, and if you get in trouble, you can always kind of back away from them. But you have to be careful because they can circle back around. I mean, obviously you're on a sphere, so that's the danger of the game. And as you can see, like how Resogun was inspired by this game. Resogun's basically on a cylinder instead of a globe. It's a pretty similar game. So let's jump into the comments real quick. Is there no game sound? Kumail says that Colin, we have game sound. Huh. Let me take a look. I'm not sure why there is no game sound. Because I can hear it. Hey, Greg?
Yeah.
Is there no game sound on? Like, should that be coming through?
There was when I left you. The PlayStation Network's coming through.
Because people are saying it's like very silent. I don't know how to fix that.
Very silent or very quiet?
Very quiet.
Okay.
Same thing, is it? But now people are saying that there is sound. I hear the game. It's on, just very quiet. It's low, but I hear it. That sounds fine. We're moving up.
Okay. It's a little bit louder now, so.
Okay.
Now they're all going to say it's too loud.
Too bad. So now you can see that things are getting a little more frenetic here on this particular wave. Again, we want to kind of chase this guy if we can and get these barrels out so the ship explodes. And then we can kind of get these bombs, which will be very valuable later. I have 7 bombs right now. Very nice. So as you can see, I got Rock Crusher. It says Rock Crusher 23. Basically, the Rock Crusher is like another weapon. If I can use L1 or R1 to switch between them. Ice Splitter, Rock Crusher, and Gold Melter are the. Oh, what the hell happened? There's some interference. Hey, Greg,
Yeah.
Are you using your PS4?
No.
Oh, I just had some interference. All right, never mind. So we'll break out the Rock Crusher because this is what works on these particular golden rocks. And the idea here, I mean, you know, it might be disappointing if I don't get like a Rock Crusher upgrade. I get like the Ice upgrade or the Gold upgrade, and that's disappointing now, but will make my weapons much stronger when I really need them later. And so you kind of want to upgrade your weapons kind of equivalently if you can, because it just makes it easier later. You don't want... The Rock Crusher is not always going to be useful, so you don't want to necessarily just focus on that. So here I got the Gold Melter upgrade. So the one disappointing thing is that I'm not connected to the PSN right now. And I wonder if I'm going to, like, if it's going to retain my scores so I can upload them. Because that's really the beauty of this game, is focusing on leaderboards and how you can beat your friends. I think that that's really one of the positive things about this game. One of the things that makes Housemarque games generally so addictive, whether it's Resogun, whether it's Stardust, whether it's Dead Nation, the score aspect of the twin stick shooter is so important. That's really what they nail with this formula. And as I understand it, Housemarque and XDev, Sony XDev, didn't fully develop this game. This was actually kind of developed and I think ported based on old Stardust to the platform by another studio. But the spirit is here. This game's rad. I'm really feeling this. Oh god, it's getting a little. Use a bomb. Oh god. Oh god. It's getting a little crazy. It's getting just a little nuts. Needs another bomb. Back out of there a little bit. So now we have more enemies to deal with. Got them all. Perfect. All right, let's jump back into the comments here. Zyger1337 says, can you play against others? I think that there is some sort of special multiplayer functionality in this one that wasn't in the other ones. I never played the Stardust games with anyone else. I think you could in, I want to say HD, play with someone else. I think that there's some special rules here we can try to explore at a different time. Phase It Twoo says, how do people not enjoy this game? That's a good question. I think that this game is the perfect mixture of gameplay and kind of strategy and high score chasing. This is what Housemarque does. This is how they do, and I think that that's what makes them so special. Infinite Mugen says, this game looks fun. I'm gonna buy it. You should buy it. I think it's only $12. I think it's actually maybe 10 and change right now for PS Plus members, which is pretty awesome. Gamer of Toledo 23 says, does this have a platinum? It does. It does have a platinum trophy. The first Stardust game to have a platinum trophy. Interesting trophy. Let's call it trophy lore. Let's call it that. Super Stardust HD back in 2008 was the first game to get trophies. Interesting. You can use that on your friends. Very first game to ever get patch for trophies. Zale Attack says, how does it compare to Resogun? Similar to Resogun. It's Resogun, a little more frenetic than Resogun. It's on a sphere instead of a cylinder, but you can see, you know, Resogun took inspiration from a game like Defender, I think, in addition to Stardust, and so you can see the kind of the differences between the games. Let's jump back in and do another wave, shall we? So as you can see here, I used 2 bombs, so I'm going to need to get these and replenish my stuff here. Oh god. Perfect. This is all coming back to me because when I was addicted to Super Stardust HD on PS3, and then on Vita, when Vita launched, I actually imported my Vita from Japan. Greg and I both did, got Japanese Vitas, and Stardust was just that first game that was on Vita that was just complete crack to me. And Delta is a really, really awesome game. I was so stoked when it came to Vita. Still one of my most memorable E3 experiences, actually, seeing it for the first time after the Sony press conference. The reason I remember it so well is because Jane's Addiction was playing live during kind of the demonstrations of the different games. Like, you could walk around the floor and play games. And I remember playing that for the first time. I remember playing, I think Journey was there. Some different stuff, I think Twisted Metal maybe. But yeah, I remember playing Stardust and just being like, this is so great that you guys are bringing this to Vita. And now here it is on PS4, not surprising. And a lot of strategies coming back to me as I really jump in for the first time in forever and really play the game. Like, see if I can show you guys something. When one of the weapon upgrades come out, because you usually get points out of these green rocks, but when you can get weapon upgrades out of them, you can actually be patient and let them change to what you need. I totally forgot about that. So if, for instance, the Rock Crusher comes out and you don't want to upgrade that, you can wait and it'll eventually flash into a different type of upgrade and you can use it that way. But I think they eventually flash away, so you kind of have to be patient, but not, you know, too crazy with it. Getting a little hectic. So I'm at 6 times multiplier, so I'm in all right shape right now. See how long I can hold. These enemies are going to be the death of me, I think. Yeah, so they're coming for me from all angles here. Sorry, I'm getting silent again. So, I gotta focus right now. I gotta focus. Get rid of these enemies if I can. So in case you're curious, I don't know, the picture's kind of small so you can't see. In case you're curious how the game's controlled, like any other Housemarque game, it's a twin-stick shooter. And I say any other Housemarque game, of course, with the exception of Outland, which was not a twin-stick shooter, but an awesome game nonetheless. So it's all on the right and left analog stick. Movement is based on the left analog stick, and turning, basically, and aiming and shooting is on the right stick. So you actually shoot by pointing. And if you guys played Resogun or other Stardust games, or Dead Nation, you know what to expect with that. So it's pretty basic in premise, but what's so endearing about these kinds of games is how insanely difficult they are, and how addictive they are too. I would say is another one of the hallmarks of the game. Ooh, there's a shield. I need that. Please give me. Thank you. Oh, I just lost my shield. I lost it just as soon as I got it. Shields not quite as common as they are in Resogun and Stardust. I think that's the first one I actually got. So the enemies are already appearing. I got just a couple more to kill here. And so I'm done with that particular phase. Let's jump back in. El Big Dookie says, "You excited for the order next week, Colin?" I am. We should get our copies later this week, and I'm intrigued. I'm interested to see how that game's gonna be. I see that footage has leaked online. I don't want to know or see anything. At PlayStation Experience, as you guys probably know, I was lucky enough to play about a 40-minute segment of the game, and I was impressed with it. It's a third-person shooter. It's not doing really anything, from when I played, unconventional or super special with combat. I think what stood out to me was the presentation values and the graphics. The story, I think, is really good. The game is incredibly cinematic, and I want to see if that really parlays throughout the entire experience. And I hope the game's long, too. I want the game to be long. 10 to 12 hours, I think, like Uncharted length would be great. Portal Player 4 says, "I hope this game becomes free one day." I wouldn't be surprised if it did become free one day, but I wouldn't count on it anytime soon. Archdevil says, "Looks like Super Stardust HD straight crack." Yep, more Super Stardust HD, absolutely. Let's see. I like this comic. Carrot 8180994 says, "Colin, the possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1. Thank you, 3PO. Appreciate that. ZebraStripe247 says, when's Beyond Audio going up?" I don't know. I don't work at IGN anymore. It was supposed to go up today. I assume it still will go up today. My assumption is that because the video is so long, our podcast, Beyond the last episode was over 2 hours long. So I'm eager for you guys to see it and hear it, but at the same time, I have no control over when it goes up. Let's do one more question and then jump in. David Siniero says, "Any discount for previous owners?" This is a different game, so there is no discount. It's not HD or Delta. There's some new modes and stuff like that, so no discount. All right, let's jump back in. It's getting great. It's getting a little too crazy around here for me. So this is like, oh shit. So this particular guy, I'm gonna lose my multiplier, which sucks. This particular guy is the boss. You kind of just gotta do some damage to him, kind of stay away from him. The interesting thing about the game, to me, is many interesting things as we already talked about. But one of the interesting things is it pays off to be thorough early, like get rid of rocks. Obviously they'll keep coming down and stuff like that, but it just clears the space for later, which I think is obviously very useful. You're gonna have some trouble if you're not, a little more thorough with clearing space and giving yourself space to breathe. I'm bummed that I lost my multiplier. I was so addicted to Delta on Vita, playing it on the bus and on the train and whatnot, that if I died before like a certain time, like probably the third or fourth planet, I would just restart the game. And it's such a time commitment. You can lose just hours in this game. It's so funny. And what's cool is that, so Delta had, and I think HD actually also had like an endless mode. What am I not doing right here? So he's getting some damage. He's not, you know, very offensively strong. The bosses get a little crazier later on. Okay, so I destroyed another part of the ship. He's mad now. The UFO is mad. Just gotta stay out of the way of these things. We keep, yep, so now we destroyed 2 parts of the ship. So basically you're just aiming, if you can't tell, at the lights on the ship. Alright, so just one more segment. So we gotta circle around so we can get to this light. So we can pound it out here. Just a little bit more. There we go. Done. Now if I had my multiplier, that would have been much more satisfying because I would have gotten like 700,000 points for that. Alas, I did not have a multiplier. So the level's complete. Zyger1337 says, is this game on Vita? If not, do you ever think it will? It's possible that this is put on Vita, but Vita has its own Stardust game. It's called Super Stardust Delta. You can download it. It's a launch game. I think it's only like $5. So now I can go to the next planet. So let's do it. Alright, so now I want to use a different weapon. You want to use the gold weapon here on these particular asteroids. It cuts right through them. Alright, so here, let's see if we can do the sequence this time a little bit cleaner than I did the last time, so I can show you guys what you get. So far, so good. Damn, did I lose it again? Ugh. Unbelievable. I don't think I did it quick enough. Oh well. It was closer than last time. I spoke too soon. Alright. So I'm getting my multiplier back up to a more satisfactory place. Which I'm pleased about. It's pleasing me very much. So what I suspect is going to happen, as it usually does in Stardust, is, you know, they introduce the different kinds of asteroids, you get used to your different kind of weapons and your different implements, and then they're obviously going to start mixing them up, so you're going to have to switch weapons a little bit more often. Oh god, these guys mean business. Multiplier's up again, which is nice. Appreciate that. Oop, shield, perfect. Gives me a little breathing room. Whenever you have the shield, you kind of just let out a fresh breath. Of course, there it's gone again. I get the shield and immediately lost it again. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Can't believe it. Alright. These points. These guys are annoying. Alright, so we gotta kill these guys off. Like these UFO type craft. And there's the last one. I think that's gonna be it after that. Alright. So I was checking out something real quick. Just don't think I have good internet in here. Link M1 says, was this game made by the same team that did Geometry Wars? What are your thoughts on that game? It's not the same team. Housemarque is not the team that did Geometry Wars. I played Geometry Wars back in the day on Xbox 360, and then I downloaded Geometry Wars 3. Honestly, I'm a little underwhelmed by it. Definitely not as good as Housemarque seems. Let's see. Tiacaceres, I'm sorry, I probably butchered that name. Would be cool to see you get the Platinum on air. It would be cool. Maybe we'll do that with the Order. I'm confident about getting the Order's Platinum. This one's going to take a little bit more time. So let's jump back in. I didn't think Resogun's Platinum was all that difficult. It just was time consuming. This one seems legit difficult. So here's the craft again. Let's see if I can get the bombs off of it. Where's the other one? There it is. Perfect. Thank God for me kind of just going around here. Not to steal a Jim Sterlingism, by the way, but thank God for me to protect this planet, because what would be the shape of this planet if all these asteroids were just plummeting on and I wasn't here to wipe them out? These monsters. What do they want from these planets anyway? What is their motivation? That's what I really want to know. What motivates you alien species? Tell me. All right, so now we have some rocks in here as well. That I can do it. I can destroy with the gold meter if I want, but I might want to switch to the rock crusher, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. As you can see, it kind of cuts through the gold really quickly in my weapon right now, but the kind of the darker stone, it doesn't. It works, but not as well. So I might want to switch up and just kind of blast these guys out of here as well. Maybe switch back and use it on these particular enemies. Alright, so we're almost to the end of this phase, this wave. There's just a few more, I think the last one's right there. Perfect. Rich says, Colin, did you hear about the PlayStation event this Friday? We did. We're not going. We'll see what it is. I'm pretty certain it's not going to be anything, no announcements or anything like that, but we'll see. Have no real idea. Maybe we're wrong and there are going to be announcements, but I'm hoping there's not, because I'm not going to be there. Let's see. MewOU says, is it worth the buy if you already have it on PS3 and Vita? If you have HD on PS3 and Delta on Vita and you like them, then it's definitely worth it. If you're not really into the games, then no. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's really flipping the script very much, but the game's good. Doc Knock says, Colin, Monster Hunter for, well, I guess you use Ultimate, right? Are you playing? I'm not a Monster Hunter fan. I'm not playing. Okay. Super Stardust or Resogun asks, actually, it's funny, 2 people in a row, Grilled Moth 97 and Unicorn DSN. I think I kind of like them equally. I think Resogun's kind of got a little special something, though. Maybe I would go with Resogun. If I had to choose, I'd probably go with Resogun. But the beauty is you don't have to choose, because they both exist. You can just buy them both. Right, these rocks are going to give me trouble later, so frig. I'm going to lose my multiplier again. Damn it. Anyway, what I was saying before was that these rocks are giving me trouble. I want to destroy them now. Well, it's not so crazy. Let's see if I can get over here and... Oh, God. Oh, man. The wheels are falling off. All right, one more. I have one more life to live, and that might be the end of the stream after that because I gotta go make dinner. But I did want to give you guys a little stream today, as I promised that I would. Oh, man, it was really falling apart at the end. Well, that's that.
Game over.
Bad final score. I'm glad I'm not on PSN even upgrade then. I'd be ashamed of it. So that is a little taste, a brief taste of Super Stardust Ultra on PS4. I'll hang out in the comments for a few minutes and talk to you guys, and then I gotta go. Sorry that the stream is so short, about half an hour long, maybe a little bit longer, but just have other things to do today. So we got started a little later than I thought we would, and now I kind of have to have some Colin time, some time with my girlfriend as well. Mr. Emoji says, "What's for dinner?" Some sort of pasta. I think we bought these like Trader Joe's ready-made pastas with like prosciutto in them, and pretty good. Solid Sheep says, "Yo, SP just tweeted my stream. Thank you, Shuhei. I hope you're tuning in and enjoying. I'm sorry that I have to run so quickly." Mayhel Ghoul says, "Colin, why do you trophy hunt? What drives you?" Honestly, my love and appreciation of trophies is always solid, but my want to get them wanes and waxes, like the moon, for instance. So right now I'm like kind of in a period where I don't really care too much about them. But I just like trophies. I like the extra added layer of challenge that they provide, and kind of like the metagame. And I think that they're great. What confused me more about trophies is the kind of the fact that some people are just really upset and like offended by them, like they have to earn them. I never really understood that. Portal Player 4 says, "Colin, do you like Patchy's Pizza on Irving?" Yes, I do. Greg and I were just there not too long ago. Pepolo14 says, "Castlevania Symphony of the Night on Vita or PS3?" I assume it's going to be the same either way. The last time I played Symphony of the Night was on PSP with Dracula X Chronicles, I think it was called. You can unlock it in there, and it was great on PSP. That's a great game anywhere. Dysfunctional says, "Symphony of the Night on Xbox 360 is the best experience." That might be true. I was always interested that Symphony of the Night on Xbox 360 also has achievements, which is kind of cool. Stubby Woot says, "Any idea on when Axiom Verge will actually release? Are you excited?" If you guys don't know, Axiom Verge is a PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Vita, PC Metroid game, basically. Very much heavily inspired by the original Metroid, the NES Metroid, and it's awesome. I think it's going to come out in the next few months. I talked to the developer, Tom Haps, sometimes. We have a build of the game. Maybe we'll stream it soon for you. But keep an eye out for it. Link Sky J96, I think. Did you like Outland? I loved Outland. I thought it was really cool. The polarity in the game was really neat. For people that don't know, Outland is a Housemarque game, the guys that do this game. Published by Ubisoft. The only game of theirs in any recent memory, maybe ever, that was on Xbox 360 as well as PS3. And it's a side-scroller, like an action game. And it's awesome. And it's all based on polarity, on blue and red light. It's a really, really neat game. You guys should check it out. I think you can get it for pretty cheap. Let's do 3 more questions and then I'm going to go. Matheek says, "How was Gary Wood?" Gary Wood is awesome. Humble dude, funny, well-spoken, obviously extremely talented. We had a great time with him on the show. And I think the Game Over Greggy show that we did with him is awesome. You guys can get it if you're a Patreon supporter on Friday, or if you want to buy it a la carte. It'll be available starting on next Monday for everyone else. And the topics are really great, especially the one Gary brought. I thought was really funny. Thrill Seeker says, "Colin, did you platinum Resogun? Is it a hard platinum?" I did platinum Resogun. As I said earlier, I don't really find it a hard platinum trophy to get. I think it's just a time-consuming platinum trophy to get, and you have to practice the game. You're not going to be able to, if you're not good at Resogun, you're not going to be able to get the platinum. But you don't have to be great at Resogun to get it. Final question comes from Paul CJII. Says, "What is the next game to be streamed?" I don't know. I'd like to stream more Stardust when I have time. I feel like we should stream Evolve at some point. We have it. It obviously came out today, so you guys can play as well if you want to on your PlayStation 4. I think it's on Xbox One and PC. But don't really know. I'll have to talk to Greg. I think he's going to kind of stream next, so that's going to be his choice. I'm going to get going. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'm sorry again for the kind of the shortness of this particular stream, but I wanted to give you guys something as I told you I would. I just don't have the time to spend more than half an hour or so doing this tonight. I gotta go. But I hope you had fun and kind of got a little taste of the game. Maybe you'll enjoy it. Go check it out for yourself. It's available on PlayStation Network right now for PS4 exclusively. We'll be back. Greg and I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time, as always, every weekday for Colin and Greg Live, and we'll stream more games as the week goes on. Keep an eye out on YouTube and all that for our other content. Thank you so much for your time, and we will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.